I just pray I don't become a bitter woman. I had often said in the beginning, I didn't sign up for this life. You know, this is the life someone else gets. My name is Julie Anderson, and my son Eric has served 23 and a half years in prison, and as his mother, I have served that time alongside him. I grew up on the southwest side of Chicago. It was a working class neighborhood. My husband became a Chicago police officer. We got married and we started our family. And I kind of had a plan. My kids would go to college, which is something I didn't do, and they would buy houses down the block for me and have my grandkids, and that would be it. When Eric started high school, he kind of changed friends, his group of friends. He started skipping school, and it was a real battle. He was involved with these kids, and they were in a gang. The Almighty Popes was their name. And he was forbidden from seeing any of those friends, but, you know, when you go out to work or whatever, it's hard to forbid 15-year-olds from doing anything. December 15th, 1995, Eric was with two other gang members. They had stolen a gun out of a policewoman's house. She left her door open and she left a loaded gun on the table. That night, there was a van that had been coming in the neighborhood, I guess, that they didn't want in there. And Eric and these two other guys, Eric had the gun, and he shot into this van from across a park about 300 feet away in December, 5:30 at night, and killed two girls inside the van. I had heard about the shooting, but didn't imagine that, you know, he was involved. Although it did kind of scare me because I knew they were running around doing things that they shouldn't do. So at 4 in the morning, we got a knock on our door, and it was the police to take Eric away. They got him up and put his jacket on, and there were a few words exchanged. They checked my husband's guns, which they were all accounted for. And that was the last time he's been home. The trial lasted 4 days. He had 6 co-defendants. He was 15, and the oldest one was 23. All of the victim family members went, which is difficult. You're just filled with so much shame and guilt, and they're sitting on the other side of the aisle, and you don't even know what to do or how to even look at them, and it was really pretty horrible, traumatic. I don't think I realized how physically painful something like that could be. The whole world was over. I couldn't believe it. Prison is such a bad place in the United States and in Illinois. You wouldn't want anyone you care about to even spend one night in there. Eric spent most of his time in Menard Prison, which is 365 miles from my front door. He was allowed 5 visits a month, so my husband and I, between us, made sure we visited 5 times a month. For years, and this is a terrible thing for a mom to say, but I had to pray that my son would die before I did, because who would take care of him if I was gone? Do I leave that to his sister or his brother? So it was always I don't know, you can't outlive me because there'll be no one. And people who are in prison without anyone, it's a really hard road for them. When Eric was resentenced, he gave an allocution and apologized to those family members for his part. I was able to get on the stand and tell them how much I deeply regretted it and how their daughters are always on my mind, as did my husband. If I could give them back their daughters, I would. And I can only think that if Eric were to get out, he owes a debt to those families. In fact, trying to save a kid from going down that path and trying to save another family from the pain that they've suffered and we've suffered.